Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 44 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm John Pruitt, joined as always by my co-host, Amanda Siegel. Hey now, Amanda.
Hey, John. Hey, everybody. And it's good to be back. We had a little break. I felt like the Peloton instructors with our pause and reflect last week. But I guess we're back this week and lots to report on, right? Did you have a good holiday weekend?
Pretty uneventful. We sat at home all day and did nothing because Jackson was in trouble. So that punished us. That also punished us.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. He definitely gives you a run for your money, right?
Yeah, we literally were just home all day, didn't go to the pool. So we had to stay firm on him, giving attitude and taking remotes to TVs and watching programs he knows he shouldn't watch. So, yep.
Oh no.
Well, I have to say,
of parenting
a 9-year-old.
Right, exactly. Well, I actually had a really cool weekend. I was down in Florida, and I connected with a whole bunch of Peloton members, and it was so fun. So I had coordinated to meet up with a Peloton member from New York.
Sandy. Boss bitch.
Sandy, Boss bitch 122.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. Really, it was just lovely for our families to connect. And this is what's so incredible about this community. And then I went walking with Rebecca Kennedy in my ear, but we didn't hear much of Rebecca because I met up with two Peloton folks. Actually, one girl from Maryland, Beth rides a latte, and Beth and I have become really good friends in the community. And then I connected with somebody through social media here down in Florida, and she had reached out, and I said, hey, I'm going to walk the Hollywood Boardwalk. Do you want to join me? And she was so excited too. And then we actually ended up going out to dinner with our husbands. So we took it from a Peloton, the three women, to a full group of Peloton fanatics. And you know what? It's been amazing. And I've said, I think I put it in one of my posts, John. I said, those folks that don't own Pelotons will say it's a cult. I say it's a group of like-minded people with the same goals, is to keep one motivated and excited. So it was really cool. And then last week, right before I headed down to Florida, I had another girl that I had met through the Leanne's Yes to You crew, who lives out in Seattle. She traveled out to DC with her daughter, and we met up in Georgetown for lunch. So you know what? It's fun. It's just fun to get to meet the community, and we all have something in common, and it was just wonderful to put faces to names, and you get to see everybody on social media. So I have to say, it was absolutely fantastic to have that connection and make it something that was a little bit more tangible, as opposed to just being, a social media connection or somebody on the leaderboard. So, again, I've said it thousands of times, what this community has done for so many folks is amazing. And that was a very special few days for me. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Well, folks, yeah. So, as we say before we get started with the news, we always do like to remind you of how you guys can keep up to date, and certainly across all of our different platforms. Every episode is released on YouTube, and you guys can just go ahead and hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode.
Yep, and if you prefer to listen to us in traditional podcast format, we're on all podcast platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV, hit subscribe, click those notifications so you never miss an episode or an update. And please leave us a review if you've been listening to the show, you like what you hear, you have some suggestions, some feedback. We always appreciate that, and try to cater to our viewers and listeners so how we can make the show better for you.
Yeah. Yeah, John, and we actually got a lovely one this past week, a 5-star review from Shirley Massive, and it said, great informative podcast. Amanda and John are like friends that catch up with you weekly about all things Peloton. Their enthusiasm and funny banter, I'm glad she thinks our banter's funny, make me look forward to listening. The weekly picks are my favorite part of the show. So thank you so much for sending that review in. We love to share that, and we'd love to share your review on the next show. So if you like us, or even if you don't, go ahead and put something out there, and we're happy to share your reviews with the community. And of course, folks, finally, we are on Facebook and Instagram. So just search for Pelo Buddy, follow us on those platforms for all the latest news. And I guess, John, let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
So kicking it right off, Amanda, we have potentially 2 new strength products from Peloton that we might see become available someday. But early on, we received an anonymous tip that Peloton is quietly conducting market research, sending out surveys regarding some potential new strength equipment they're looking to test. So part of the research being done is around pricing of potential strength products. So Peloton might be sending out different versions of this survey with different prices shown to kind of help them figure out, what would be a good price point for some of these potential products they're looking to add. But the first strength device being surveyed is being called the Peloton Focus. So we had previously reported on this. This is the same product that was codenamed Peloton Tiger that Pelo Buddy had reported on back in May. So this one, the Peloton Focus, is being described as a device that can transform your TV into a home gym with innovative camera technology. So it's almost looks like a little wireless Bluetooth speaker that would sort of sit on top of your TV or under it, watching you as you're working out, watching the TV. So in our previous report, the device is rumored to be able to provide instant feedback, watching your movement, equip with software that will assess your form and movement. So you could compare it to a Microsoft Kinect for the Xbox gaming system, where it can watch you like with certain games, like Just Dance. It can watch all your movements and you can see yourself moving on the screen. Or another way to think about it, it's just a Peloton branded camera that sits on top of your existing TV, and you just connect it to like an HDMI connection, like you would a DVD player.
Wow.
The other strength device being surveyed is being called the Peloton Platform. And this would be more like a traditional connected weightlifting experience. It sounds like it's actual bench that you would use and sit on to do some of the workouts with this equipment. Might seem to imply, you'd sit on the ground like an actual platform. A rope might come out of the device via pulley. You'd attach different handles or bars to use during the workout. So a user could change the handles for different kinds of workouts. Just looking at like the fuzzy picture that we posted, it shows a barbell, handles, and a weight bench that might come with this package, the Peloton Platform. So be similar to something called a Go Arena device, which is a similar sort of fitness device. More details on the Pelo Buddy website, on Instagram, that we posted on just recently. So, it could mean, are we getting a step closer to boxing? What sort of other, workouts might we expect from some of these products?
Yeah, I guess we wait with bated breath. We like to report it. And of course, we always love it if it does come to fruition. But that's interesting. Wow, we'll definitely have to wait for those to pop up.
And in other big news, so Peloton, just the other day in their Instagram stories, posted a message from Robin Arzon. She is back teaching live. So her first live ride back teaching just happened this past Friday, the 9th. A 30-minute together We Ride class. So if you have not taken it yet, be sure to check it out. And also the following day, Saturday the 10th, she had a 30-minute Broadway ride.
Very cool. I know that there are tons of folks that are excited to get Robin back on the platform, no question. So there are folks that were waiting very patiently. I know I'm excited to get her back on, so that's really cool. Yeah, folks, so this past weekend, we got to see and work out to a music extravaganza like none other. Peloton definitely pulled out all of the stops with this year's All for One Music Festival. The artists I thought were fantastic, although in full disclosure, excuse the pun, there were some I knew and some I had no clue who they were, but it did give an opportunity to ride with artists that I probably wouldn't have ever heard their music. The lineup comprised of, and I'm going to go for it, Alice Coltrane, Black Coffee, Carly Pearce, Daddy Yankee, Demi Lovato, Depeche Mode, Disclosure, Doja Cat, Gorgon City, Gwen Stefani, James Black, Jessie Ware, Imagine Dragons, Major Lazer, Migos, Nas, Pearl Jam, Robin Schulz, Rosalia, Sturgill Simpson, Thomas Rhett, Tina Turner, The Tragically Hip, 21 Pilots, and Wiz Kid. Wow, what a group of exceptional artists. And again, in full disclosure, I probably only knew a handful of them, but I was fortunate enough to get to ride quite a few, actually not even just ride, use the platform for quite a few on the All for One Music Festival. As we know, the festival took place from July 1st to the 3rd. So it was a great intro to a long weekend here in the States and gave us an opportunity to jump on whenever we wanted to because they were pre-recorded. A lot were pre-recorded and on demand, and just a few popped up live. I know my co-host John was exceptionally pleased with the Pearl Jam ride with Jen Sherman, right? I could only assume you jumped on that ride. I did not do it, John. Was it fun?
Yeah, I was there live. Yeah, it was fun.
It was great.
I'll talk about I'll talk about that in my class picks, and we'll also get into something a little controversial about.
Oh, good! I want to hear. All right,
Jen Sherman, which is a common gripe that some have.
All right. Well,
we'll get into that. We'll dive into that later. Yeah.
We'll dive into that later. But so it was fun because they were on demand. And while some folks were complaining of the length of the classes, that they were 15 minutes, 20 minutes, as opposed to having like the Pearl Jam, which was 45. And I believe that Kendall's ride was 45 as well. The purpose of this festival, and having read up some stuff that DJ John Michael had written about, was really for us to feel like it was a music festival. And if you go to a music festival, you're not listening to a 45-minute set of one specific artist. You're kind of jumping around, to different stages and getting to hear different things. So I really liked the concept. Again, some folks were moaning about the fact that they liked that All for One ride where they had all the instructors on, one ride and each kind of did a song. Truthfully, I thought this was much cooler. I really thought it was an opportunity to get to hear music that I would never have heard of. And one that I'll throw out was Tragically Hip. It was just never something that I would ever have heard of, a Canadian band. I thought that Emma did an amazing job. And so there definitely was an opportunity for folks to utilize and learn about different artists that they probably wouldn't have before. And again, that's what a music festival is all about, is getting to hear about these, getting to see these different artists. So, these artists could be found, as I said, on the bike, on the tread, and of course on the floor, whether it be strength, stretching, yoga. I believe there was even a meditation with Chelsea Jackson Roberts, which I did do. Of course, the full list can be found on PeloBuddy.com's webpage. There are just way too many to bore you in the news report. But definitely, if you haven't completed all of the workouts, it gives you an opportunity to get to determine some of the other instructors that you wouldn't have ridden with before, and give you an opportunity to do a shorter set of music to those. So, Peloton, I thought, did a phenomenal job. And they went one step further. They actually downloaded the full All for One Music Festival playlist on Spotify. So if folks wanted to go back and listen to some of the music, you actually can do that. You can head over to Spotify and you can pull the All for One Music playlist right there. And then lastly, it was reported that Peloton were actually giving special gifts to members who saved or track loved some of the songs of the featured artists. And they were apparently going to be included in shout-outs during classes, as well as receiving a copy of an all-for-one poster that was going to be signed by all of the coaches. So I haven't seen that pop up on anybody's Instagram, but I know that we reported it here at Pelo Buddy. So looking forward to seeing if anybody actually got that. But as an opportunity for the coaches to be off, for those few days while they did have their pause and reflect, it gave us an opportunity to jump on and do tons of rides and, rack up to get those milestones, folks. So that's certainly one way of doing it. But it was, I thought, an amazing compilation of what they did. And what were your thoughts, John?
It was fun. I'm still chipping away. I've made a decent dent in the All for One cycling content.
Yeah.
But it was fun because I just went in with zero expectations, not really sort of stacking any classes. I just went and was like, 5-minute Tina Turner cool down with Allie after I did my 20-minute Imagine Dragons ride with Sam Yo. It was just fun. Yeah. It was just a nice surprise just to go in and just try. I did Rosalie. I didn't know who Rosalie is. Like I did that 20-minute ride with Cody. I didn't know who Major Lazer was, but I did that 30-minute ride with Hannah Frankson. Yeah. But I recognized a couple tracks during it, but it was super fun. But it was just going in with no expectations, for a lot of these artists that I don't know by name. But no, it was super fun. I like how they're changing it up. We don't get the same class where it's 2 side-by-side bikes, the traditional all for one, where they start switching out people. No, it's nice. We didn't have to deal with that plexiglass, between bikes that they do in the studio. So I definitely saw the complaints about people wanting traditional all for one, but I mean, this was obviously a pretty big production. A lot went into it. So I think we got our money's worth.
I do too. And I know that, again, DJ John Michael said that it was, they kind of put it together pretty fast. And I know they worked really hard on it. So kudos to Peloton for, giving us something. Look, we're not going to please everybody, right? Or they're not going to please everybody. But it's nice to know that they're, as you say, constantly changing things up and trying to find new ways of engaging the community. And I think that they did. Yeah. I think they did an awesome job.
Yeah. They don't half-ass anything. They really put their time and thought into consideration in all their announcements and projects and new programs and collections. So, hats off to them.
Yeah.
One update now with the Tread Plus, the tread lock that they recently implemented on the treads. So we had been seeing some complaints from members who did not have an active subscription on their Tread Plus. That tread lock essentially bricking their tread, so they couldn't just use it just as a free run, just unlocking the belt or doing some of the scenic runs. So there have been reports of complaints that members who don't have an active subscription, they can't use their tread at all because of the tread lock. So Peloton did make a statement. They're aware of it. In addition to returning your Tread Plus for a full refund, if you choose to do, in the meantime, they're also giving every members 3 free months of Tread Plus owners waiver on their monthly service. But they did say that there will be something coming soon where you'll be able to not have an active subscription, but still use the treadmill, just like a basic, without
treadmill.
the actual runs or, classes. Yeah.
Right. Truthfully, I actually didn't know that was an option. I didn't realize that you could just use the treadmill. I guess, yeah, you could just kind of freewheel it. But I didn't actually realize that was an option. So that was something that was new for me, that folks could just utilize the tread without the content.
I guess it's similar to the bike. If you didn't have an active subscription, you could do just ride.
Okay.
Where it isn't really, there's not really any content. You just see your metrics.
Got it. Again, never knew that, but you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
With that being said, actually, on July 1st, Peloton announced that they were going to be providing a digital app discount. They are looking to boost their sign-up numbers this summer. And by doing so, they introduced the Peloton Summer Pass. This allows you to sign up for 1 month and get 2 months free. So folks can sign up by July 31st. And the fee will be $12.99 here in the US, or the equivalent for those folks in other countries. But basically, it will allow those to get kind of a two for one, like get actually 2 for 1. Pay 1 month and get 3 months free. So certainly know that those of you watching or listening are certainly already hooked and are on the platform. But if you have friends that are on the fence and want to try out the platform before committing to the hardware, I think this would be a great opportunity for folks to be able to do that. And it would, as we say, push up the membership, within Peloton. For those folks in Australia, Peloton is still giving new members their first 3 months completely free. So this, of course, is in collaboration with the official launch, which will be just this week, the end of next week, actually. So they're still getting the free 3 months. And we're looking forward to bringing the Australian community into our Pelo Buddy world, and hopefully within time find somebody that we can bring onto Pelo Chats.
Well, we have a new flash challenge. This one is titled Get Out and Move. There's 42 classes in that collection that I checked out. Peloton has described the challenge as challenge yourself in the great outdoors, whether yoga, meditation, running, walking, interval training, enjoy your workout, equipment free, outside. So you have to take 4 workouts from this Get Out and Move collection from July 7th to the 21st to complete the challenge and earn the special badge for that. So it's all outdoor related. So you could do a walk, run, yoga, meditation. So there's plenty to choose from there for anyone that is badge hungry.
Yeah, I did see that challenge, and it actually looked like a fun one. So maybe that's one I should consider looking to do. The next month's going to be hard working out, but just with tons going on. But yeah, that did look like a good one. We actually also saw a bunch of new training programs being launched as well. First up is the 1-week training program with Allyson Felix. This is, of course, in conjunction with the Peloton Champions collection. One is actually able to train with Allyson Felix, or with the latest edition. There are certain classes that Alyson suggests folks could take, and they were specifically recorded for the program. So they've kind of taken this collection and done different things with it over the last few weeks. With Alyson, these were recorded classes. The instructors actually talk about Alyson in them. Again, one can head over to pelobuddy.com to find the list of each of the classes. There are tons. We can also, sign up and do exactly what she's doing. So that's the Allyson Felix challenge or training that is being offered. There is also a new monthly strength stack. That's a mouthful. The collection for July is with Matty Maggiacomo. And this stack was introduced on Instagram with Adrian and Matty. Remembering that Adrian actually was last month's strength trainer, and he was the one that had led the strength stack last month. Matty's recommendations are actually to do 2 days of back-to-back work and then 1 day of active rest, wrapping up the week with HIIT cardio and full body exercise. PeloBuddy.com, again, does have a list of his full 4-day strength stack and which classes to take, and they're pretty extensive, and I know he's put a lot of work into that as well. And then lastly, as far as the strength goes, Ben Aldous is a huge one for strength. And he has gone out and hit Instagram up with his own curated July Strength Challenge. Ben's is a 4-week session. It's a 4-week session with 4 sessions a week. It has the same structure every week with 3 rest days. And Ben's goal is to follow the structure of workouts each week, allowing folks to be flexible with specific workouts they choose and when they do them across the week. So he's not giving you anything specific. He wants you to be able to kind of do it when you want to do it. And he's going to be doing it right alongside with us. So I love that about Ben, is he gets very into these workouts himself, and he loves to actually share that on his social media platforms with his community. And I always think that that's a huge motivator, certainly for me, because he's so pumped about these challenges that he does that it almost makes you feel like you want to do it because you don't want to disappoint him. So he did, as I said, he did share on Instagram that this is going to be similar to his own training plan. His first day kicked off just a couple days ago, back on July 5th. And, again, as I said, he is very active on Instagram. He's asked folks to share on their own Instagram because he would love to see what you guys choose to do. So lots out there for folks to look at doing in broadening their workout regime and adding strength into the mix, which I think is really great.
Nice.
And then I guess next up, John, is the instructors in the news. And we start off with Sam Yo. Sam was featured in Gizmodo.com, and the title of the article was Meet Sam Yo, Peloton's Geekiest Instructor. It does talk about Sam using his nostalgic love of pop culture like Karate Kid, Star Wars, and Transformers to pump members up. Sam goes on to say that he uses music and quotes to help make his classes unique and motivating, but says that there's not much strategy really in doing so. It's just who he is. The article went on to talk about his passion for all genres and mediums of entertainment, which in turn contributed towards his career as an actor. And I actually did not know that Sam was an actor. So that was something new that I discovered from reading this article. We all do know, I'm sure most of us that follow anything about Sam know that he did take a different direction. And for a year, he became a monk. So that was very interesting. And for those folks that didn't know that, definitely head over to read the article. He says, though, that ended abruptly and he found himself back in the acting world. And whilst doing so, became more into fitness in the late 2019, where that really was the precipice of Peloton finding him and hiring him specifically for his love of pop culture. Folks, we don't talk about Sam much on here just because he does seem to be one of the more quieter instructors with not much, out there. But I will tell you that we are about to release our top 10 Sam Yo closed classes. So make sure that you don't miss out, as there are definitely some awesome rides on there. It was fun compiling that and putting that out for folks, and hopefully we'll get that out to you guys within the next week. So for those of you that aren't too familiar with Sam, I know some folks say that he's too melancholy for them or too laid back. I don't want to spoil my picks of the week, but I got to tell you, I am a huge Imagine Dragons fan, huge. In fact, I've seen them live at a private event a couple years back, and to hear him play the songs that I just adore of Imagine Dragons was a treat. So that was definitely nice to see him with one of my favorite artists on the All for One Music Festival. So yeah.
Oh. I think he has theater acting. I think he was doing some Shakespeare, West London production. I think he's mentioned. I don't know if he's been in commercials or TV, maybe so, but I know he's mentioned theater and like Shakespeare productions. So
yeah, very interesting. So the article's awesome, and you can certainly head over, as I said, to pelobuddy.com to pull the full article. I just kind of gave you some excerpts from it.
Well, Jess King, she was also recently interviewed for Shape.com. She talked about, coming out, the importance of repping the LGBTQ plus community. And she also went into more detail, if you haven't read or seen her tell her story about meeting her songwriter, singer, fiance, Sophia Urista. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Urista. And kind of their, relationship and their dynamic when they met 8 years ago. Great interview, shape.com. So check that out if you have not seen that. It's on Pelo Buddy, on our Instagram and our website, social.
Yeah. And next up, whilst not an instructor, Dara Tressido was featured in maryclaire.com. So lots of exciting information on the Peloton team. This article was titled, Dara Tressido is the reason you're obsessed with Peloton. As we all know, Tressido is the company's senior vice president. She's the head of global marketing and communications. And I guess she's responsible for building Peloton's brand and its community. And in this article, she does talk about her ambition, being a Black woman in corporate America, and the value of one investing in themselves. So we've spoken about Dara, tons of times on the show, and she is a pretty exceptional woman with an amazing resume behind her and has contributed so much to Peloton and certainly to us as a community. So head over again to pelobuddy.com to read the full article that Marie Claire had put out.
And Alanis Morissette recently shouted out several Peloton instructors on her Instagram. On July 1, her post specifically shouted out Hannah Frankson, Christine Dierical, Tunde, and Jess King with the caption, self-care riddled Olympian mountain climb back to fitness, post-baby, post-lockdown, pre-tour. So it sounds like Peloton's really helping her get toned up for, I guess, a music tour that she's going to be setting out on the road to do.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, you know what, John? They weren't the only ones that got a shout out, because actually Chase Tucker got a nice shout out on Instagram from none other than Ellen. As we all know, Ellen is a huge Peloton addict. She talks about it on her show a lot, but on Instagram, she shared that she's actually been running with Chase every day. She wasn't too happy with him sharing that. She said something about runs with Sprint already. He had said something, and she looked at him and, in her Instagram, and she was like, Chase, I'm already doing that. What are you talking about, dude? But it was really fun to see her like just dripping wet. And again, Chase
she was
doesn't
totally
get...
gassed.
Wasn't she? It was so funny to see. And again, Chase doesn't get much, airtime. So I was really happy to see that she takes Chase's runs and shouted him out. It was huge for him. And I was so pleased, because he is truly one of the kindest, nicest instructors that we just don't get to hear enough about. So I was really happy to see that. And good for Ellen for taking on the challenge of running with Chase.
It's funny. I was thinking, we get so excited and geek out when the instructors reshare one of our Instagram stories or shout us out. I'm sure the instructors geek out just the exact same way that we do when the celebrities
post
about them or shout them out.
You read my mind. I was thinking the exact same thing when I saw that. I almost wanted to reach out to Chase and say, hey, dude, congrats. I mean, this is awesome, to kind of see what his reaction was, because it's got to be. And some of them do. Some of them will say they'll reshare stuff and they'll say, oh my God, I can't believe so-and-so, just posted about me. So it is very cool.
Gotta play it cool.
Right. Exactly. And tell us about your boo.
Rebecca Kennedy?
Yes.
That boo? So.
That boo. What do you know?
So,
do you know any inside information there, John?
If I did, I couldn't share it. No, I don't know anything. No, Rebecca recently posted on Instagram. She's taking a little bit, in case you haven't noticed, she hasn't been on the teaching any strength classes recently, or on the tread as well. She is recovering from an injury. She recently just stated she's taking time to rest, recover, listen to her body. She didn't specifically state what the injury is. When I was messaging with her recently, I said, oh, what's, is it your foot related? She goes, no, I'm not really ready to say what it is yet, but hopefully, she's on the mend now. It's been a few weeks, so hopefully she's 100% pretty soon and is back teaching live, because I definitely miss her on the tread.
Have you gotten back on the tread? I know you had said with her not being on there that you haven't. Yeah, I know it's hard sometimes.
As of today, not yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Come on, Rebecca. We need you back on the platform so John can up his tread game. We don't want to see that slipping. So we'll have to make sure we get her back there, slacker. Believe you me, I'm sure you're doing tons. I'm not worried about you, John. You're racking up those miles much better. I know that. Folks, so that pretty much about wraps up the news portion of the show. I guess next up we go for picks of the week. And John, I'm going to have you start it off.
I'll kick it off. Okay. So, my first pick of the week from the All for One AFO Music Festival, a 45-minute Pearl Jam ride with Jen Sherman from Saturday, July 3rd. Now, this one, I loved the ride, but it was structured. So just know, so it's a music festival, it's a live experience. So just know a lot of the classes are tailored that way. A lot of the playlists are structured that way. So Jen, really put a lot of effort into producing a playlist that really felt like a seamless concert. So they were all live tracks by Pearl Jam. So it kind of felt like a seamless, shortened first set. Because, the crowd would cheer, then they would, transition right into another song. The ride was a little different. She didn't shout anybody out. So there was no milestone shout outs, no shout outs to her regulars. She did sing along the first few notes and bars of most of the songs. So, and this is what I was talking about, controversial. So it's a common complaint. Jen sings, she talks too much. I mean, that's a common complaint in general. If you look on the Peloton Facebook page, instructors talking, just give us the instruction. So someone posted just after that ride, they loved the music, the playlist, but that Jen ruined it with, her singing along, which, there's always going to be some complaint. It wasn't that extreme. It wasn't like she was singing along word for word. That's Jen, though. That's her style.
Right.
And for a ride like this, where it's live tracks, where it kind of puts you in that zone, to sing along like you're at a concert, obviously, she might sing a little bit more. But that's just one thing about Jen Sherman. People hate, I love. I love how she works the leaderboard. She really sort of chats to you. It definitely comes across to the camera when you're at home riding. It feels more personal from her.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were annoyed by it. And, that's a common complaint sometimes, unfortunately, with her. But I think that's what makes her so much fun. That's how, because I'm singing along too at times. Right, so I'm right there with her. I don't have the best voice. But everyone was piling up on that post on the official Peloton member page about her singing and how it was super annoying and never again. I'm not going to give her another try. So I knew that post was coming. I can almost sense whatever gripe or complaint is going to, when I'm in a live class and something happens that might be controversial.
Yeah.
It's going to irritate some members.
Some folks. Sure.
I loved it. So that's pick number one from the All for One. Pretty much all my picks are from the All for One from just looking at them right now. So I mentioned earlier, Hannah Frankson, 30-minute major laser ride from July 2nd. Didn't really know who they are. I'm not sure how to describe them, if they're like pop, electronic, dance. But I've been getting into riding with Hannah Frankson a lot lately. And her classes, like her music selection is always great. So really great 30-minute ride. And then I did a 15-minute, another artist I didn't really know, Nas, N-A-S, Nas. 15-minute all for one Nas ride with Olivia from July 3rd. So those were the standouts. I did other all for ones and other, rides, but those were, I wanted to highlight the All for One Music Festival that just, recently concluded, because there's so much to do in there, and obviously you can feel overwhelmed by where to go first, what to choose, how to stack. So those are my three picks from the festival.
Awesome. Well, I'm actually going to
What
hit
about
off. Yeah, so my first pick of the week is not an all for one pick. It was actually Ben Aldis's EDM ride from Wednesday, July the 7th. It was just a 20-minute, he did a back-to-back EDM and 90s rock. And I have to tell you, I haven't ridden live with Ben. I've been doing a ton of Ben's strength because I do follow his strength programs. His EDM was fantastic. I'm going to say it, banger after banger. He had some amazing music in there. And you know what? I almost hit a PB. And remember, 20 minutes, and I always remind myself that 20 minutes is my FTP. Obviously, that's my PR. So when I'm close to hitting a PR on a 20-minute, I know that it's, I may not get there just because it was my FTP, it is my FTP PR on there. But it was fantastic. So Wednesday, July 7th, definitely the way to go. That was my first pick of the week. My second pick of the week is Sam Yo's Imagine Dragons. And I have to say, I'm using his whole compilation. So he did an Imagine Dragons warm-up ride. It's just 5 minutes, but it has two of my favorite songs on there. His Imagine Dragons ride was fantastic. And then he also did a stretch. He did an Imagine Dragons stretch as well. So shout out to Sam Yo. He picked the perfect Imagine Dragons songs. And maybe I was a little biased because they are one of my favorite, my favorites out there. And the fact that I saw them on the festival lineup, I was so thrilled about it. So that was definitely a pick for me, and I do encourage you to kind of do the whole compilation of the three that he put together. Allie loves Tina Turner. Again, she did a Tina Turner cool down. She did the Tina Turner ride. Fantastic. Music was on point, best songs. And she just embraces that whole with her hair, and her hair was full on out. She looked like Tina Turner. She just, you could feel her loving the ride. So loved that. And then from the strength perspective, Ben's Gorgon City, it was a 10-minute, the Gorgon City strength workout. And I really liked it. Never heard of Gorgon City, but I added it into my stack because I was doing strength with Ben, and it was fantastic. So those are my picks of the week. I had a lot, but as John said, with the All for One, there was more to choose from, and because they were shorter rides, there was more to offer. So yeah, folks, hopefully you had a fun experience in the All for One Music Festival and can share with us some of the rides and workouts or runs and strength and floor exercises that you guys did too. I think it was an awesome compilation.
One thing I wanted to circle back and mention, Amanda, about Imagine Dragons, there's one song I love by them, and most instructors never play this one particular Imagine Dragons song. It's called Zero. I was hoping it was going to be on the Sam Yo class, but it's a song from the movie Wreck-It Ralph 2, the sequel, Ralph Breaks the Internet. And it goes, hello, hello, let me tell you what it's like to be a 0, 0. And it's like got this fast, upbeat tempo. You probably have heard it.
I have heard it. Of course I've heard it. Of course.
But I sent it to Rebecca Kennedy a while back. She had never heard of it. But the chorus or whatever, when it kicks in, it's like the perfect time to sprint or, climb or whatever. So hopefully she works it into a playlist. I haven't heard it in a class. God knows how long. I know Matt Wilpers has thrown it on like there. A Power Zone ride, yeah. But I was really hoping when I peeped the playlist for Sam's Imagine Dragons warm up and ride, I was really hoping it was going to be in there, but
and
wasn't.
Disappointed
that it wasn't. Still a fun ride though.
Yeah, no, I thought
My
it was
2
awesome.
cents.
Yeah, no, I like that. That was awesome. Well, I guess that is time for us to wrap up the show. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time to take a watch or take a listen. We gave you a break last week, so hopefully it was fun to get us back on this week. And we look forward to seeing you all back here the week after. Next week. So for me here in Florida, see you all soon.
Yeah, and for me here in Michigan, as always, we will see you on the leaderboard, and bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag, and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.